Now let's talk about the profiler. The profiler is a more sophisticated facility. It will write entries, documents, to system.profile for any query that takes longer than some specified period of time. There are three levels for the profiler. There's level 0, level 1, and level 2. Level 0 is the default level, and it means it is off. Level 1 means I want to log my slow queries. And level 2 means I want to log all my queries. So why would you want to log all your queries? And the reason is because not so much for performance debugging, but because when you're writing a program, it's convenient to see all the database traffic so that you can figure out whether the program's doing what you expect. So this is really more of a general debugging feature than a performance debugging feature, and you might want to use that when you're debugging your own programs to turn the profiler on at level 2 and see everything that's happening in the system. But right now we're going to focus on this level 1, which is logging the slow queries. Let's go and start Mongo up logging slow queries. So we're going to run mongod minus dbpath, and same as before, the one I use, and then minus profile1, log my slow queries, anything above 2 milliseconds. So I'm going to do that, and now it's logging my slow queries, and now I'm going to do a slow query. So I'm going to do that same query again. All right. Took a while, took about 4 seconds. And now I'm going to look in db.system.profile and see what there is to see. And what we see is that this is the query we just did. We can see that there's a query to the students collection, that we were looking for student ID 10,000. It happened here, this timestamp, and it scanned 10 million documents. That sounds slow. Returned one document, and took 4.2 seconds, 4,231 milliseconds. So this is going to be really useful. And you can see it actually returned more than one document. It returned some of the work I did before. This is a cap collection, which means that there's a fixed size collection, and it will recycle space in the collection after it uses it up. So we can use this information, we can query on it. So we see that, for instance, this millis over 4,000. So let me show you some of the kind of queries you can do. So in here, I'm doing a find in the profile collection, looking for anything with test.foo in it, the namespace, which is the foo collection, which is another collection that I've been writing queries to as well, and then sort it by the timestamp, print it. And you see there's nothing in there right now from test.foo. But if I switch that up to be school.students collection, I'll get the query we just did. We can also look for things that are slower than a certain duration. I'll show you how that works. Here we go. This is a query, again, of the system.profile, where we're looking for things that have milliseconds greater than 1. And we're going to sort by the timestamp again and print it. Very convenient. So that's how you would use the profile information you get. You can turn on this profiler from the Mongo shell. Let me show you how to do that. So you can get the profile status. Here, let me show you that. Get profiling level. We're set to level 1 right now. Let's get the status. And you can see it's set to 1, which is slow queries, anything above 2 milliseconds. We can set the status if we want. This is how you turn the profiler on from the Mongo shell. Let's set it to level 1, but I want to only look at things that are longer than 4 milliseconds. If I do that, I meant set the profiling level, not status. If you set the profiling level, right here, set profiling level to 1,4, that means slow queries above 4 milliseconds, and now it tells me that it is, well, it tells me what it used to be, just so I can do some debugging information. But if I do a get of the status, I can see that it's now set to level 1 and anything above 4. If I want to turn it off entirely, I just set it to 0, and that should fix it up for me. Set profiling level. And if I get the profiling status now, I should see it's 0. And if I get the profiling level, which is another command, it'll also tell me it's 0. So those are the commands you might want to know, which is to get the profiling level, that'll tell you what it's doing. If you want to set the profiling level, you can set it. It takes 2 parameters. I only gave one here because I was turning it off, but it takes 2 parameters, which is the level and then the number of milliseconds that I want to log beyond. If any query that exceeds that will get logged. Okay, it is time for a quiz. Write the query to look in the system.profile collection for all the queries that took longer than 1 second ordered by timestamp descending.